Hello everyone, hope everyone is enjoying the conference. My name is Asia and I will be talking to you guys about self-esteem. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there, but I've made it work and I've recorded this for you guys, and I'll keep it on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to refer back to it after the conference. And if you have any questions, I can answer them for you as well. Now, never in a million years did I think that me, Asia, would be giving a talk on self-esteem or self-confidence. So a little bit about me. I was born in Zambia. I grew up there until I was 9. Then I moved to Malawi and Swaziland for school, and I did my tertiary education in the US. So as a child, up to the age of about 13 or 14, I was super confident, talkative, to the point where like my family would tell me to dance at like Christmas gatherings, and I would just dance right there and then. And I would also perform at school events. I was the narrator for so many years. And then fast forward to secondary school. I did my secondary school in Swaziland, and somewhere along the way, my self-esteem just diminished, my self-confidence diminished, and I ended up being known as the shy and quiet person. If I reflect back, I try and pinpoint the things that made me lose my self-confidence and my self-esteem, and I would always compare myself to others. I would pinpoint things that I didn't like about myself, or things that other people pointed out about me that I was very confident about when I was a young child, like my gap teeth. And especially in high school, I was also among one of the darker people in like the bunch of my friends, and I didn't really notice that until I went to high school. And those are the things that I think made me lose my self-confidence, and the list goes on. Now, I've never always had this self-confidence that you're seeing right now, but I've nurtured it, and I'm continuing to nurture it by putting myself out there, by doing things such as this, like a conference for teenagers. I wish I could be there, but unfortunately I'm headed for school, so this is the best that I could do, and hopefully you guys get the most out of it. There's one thing that I actually did in university to help me improve my self-esteem, my self-confidence. In my first year, I joined a pageant, and that was one of the most scary but courageous things that I've done to jumpstart my path to self-confidence and self-esteem. And I'm really grateful that I took that chance. I didn't win, but it was such an amazing experience, and this is why I say you need to put yourself out there and keep on improving your self-esteem. One thing that I've noticed from a lot of Zambians is that we tend to be very timid and not ask questions when you want to ask certain questions, and I think that's a bad habit that we need to break. You need to be confident, you need to be able to speak up when you have a question or when you have a concern, and yeah, I think that will be really good for us in general, because it'll open up a lot more opportunities that a lot of people are scared of trying just because they think they can't. But the best way to find out is to try. Yeah. So why am I sharing my story, you might ask? Well, every single person has their own insecurities, but it should never stop you from being you. I wanted to share the obstacles that come with self-esteem and how I personally overcame them, and hopefully you can learn something from this talk. If you have a pen and paper, feel free to write down anything that I'm talking about, but like I said, I'll leave it on my YouTube page for you guys to refer back to if you would like to. So the first piece of advice I would say is work on yourself. In the words of Oprah, fill yourself up and keep your cup full. You need to be your best authentic self, and the only way to do that is when you have an abundance of yourself to give to other people. The second thing is your inner thoughts drive your reality. If you think negative about yourself, if you say negative things to yourself, then that will become who you are. You're going to reflect that wherever you go, and people will notice that you're not confident and your self-esteem is low. And if you say things like, oh, I'm not smart enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, then it always ends up coming out in your personality, and that's who you become. But if you speak words of affirmation and positivity, then that's what your life will reflect, and that's who you'll become in the long run. The third thing I'm going to talk about is self-worth. The more you search for your worth from others, the more lost you will be. Because let's be honest, every single person will have an opinion about you, and you should never be too conscious of what people think about you, because every single person, even the person who you think is the most perfect person, has their own insecurities. They have their own self-esteem issues that they're battling with. So you just need to work on you as a person, because every single person is different and we're meant to be that way. Another tip that I would give is try to be as confident as you can. Self-confidence opens so many opportunities, it opens so many doors. And personally, I've learned this, that opportunities are always at the end of your comfort zone. So if you feel too comfortable in a place, you're not growing, you're not learning a lot about yourself. You need to be uncomfortable to figure out who you actually are. And if you know who you are, nobody can affect the way you feel about yourself. Know what your talents are, know what your weaknesses are, and that way you'll know what's for you and what's not. And sometimes trying out things will make you realize that, okay, this is not for me, or okay, this is for me. And you just need to keep on working on your self-improvement, your self-esteem, and your self-confidence. At the end of the day, you determine the path of your life. You need to believe in yourself, and that way it always reflects from the type of person that you are. Another tip that I would say I've learned is never compare yourself to others. That is just the number one thing that can make your self-esteem go all the way down. You need to embrace who you are. You really have to stress the fact that you're a unique human being, and whether you're tall, short, chubby, slim, that's who you are. That's what God made you like, and there can only be one of you. You need to own it. Yes, so those are the few things that I've learned on my short journey of life, and I'm still constantly trying to improve my self-esteem, and I put myself out there. I personally am an introvert, but I find ways to practice how I can be more self-confident, and this is why I took the opportunity to speak to you guys about this. And yeah, I hope you guys really are enjoying yourselves, and are having a good time. And so I'll end with this. Whether you think you can or can't do something, you're almost always right. And that your self-esteem should be something that you're constantly working on, and you're never too shy to go after what you want. It was lovely virtually meeting all of you, and hope to one day have another conference where we can meet each other in person. Bye.